In the bustling aisles of a tech store, a brand new, top-of-the-line camera sat gleaming on its display stand. It was the kind of camera that photographers dream of. With a lens that could capture the soul of a subject, a young man, let's call him Alex, had been saving up for months, his heart set on this very model. He'd worked extra shifts, shipped nights out with friends, all for this one piece of equipment that he believed would launch his photography career. He approached the counter, his excitement almost palpable. The store clerk, a friendly man named George, smiled as he carefully boxed it up. Alex paid, the transaction feeling like a ceremony, a rite of passage. He clutched the box like a treasure, a feeling of pure joy washing over him. Little did he know, his joy was being watched from the shadows with envious eyes. As Alex left the store, practically floating on air, another man, Mark, watched him go. Mark hadn't been so fortunate. He saw the expensive camera and felt a bitter sting of resentment. He wanted what Alex had, but he wasn't willing to work for it. So, he followed him. A few blocks down, on a less crowded street, Mark saw his chance. He accidentally bumped into Alex, hard, in the confusion, as Alex stumbled and tried to regain his balance. Mark's hands were a blur, with practiced ease. He unclipped the strap of the camera bag from Alex's shoulder. Alex, apologizing for the collision, didn't notice a thing. He continued on his way, completely unaware that his prized possession, the key to his future, was now in the hands of a thief. Mark slipped into a nearby alley, a cruel smirk on his face. He had the camera. He thought he had gotten away with it, clean and simple. Back at his apartment, Alex's heart sank into his stomach. He reached for his camera bag to admire his new purchase one more time, but his hand met only empty air. Panic set in. He frantically searched his pockets, his backpack, everywhere. It was gone. The joy from moments ago was replaced by a cold, sickening dread. He replayed the walk from the store in his mind, the bump, the man who seemed to vanish as quickly as he appeared. The realization hit him like a punch to the gut. He'd been robbed. He slumped onto his sofa, the weight of his loss crushing him. All that saving, all that dreaming, snatched away in an instant. He felt foolish, angry, and utterly defeated. How could he have been so careless? The dream that had been so bright just an hour ago now seemed like a distant, impossible fantasy. Meanwhile, Mark was examining his loot. He opened the camera bag, his eyes lighting up at the sight of the pristine device. It was even better up close. He turned it over in his hands, admiring its sleek design. He decided to test it out. He pointed it out his window and pressed the shutter button. Nothing. He tried again. Still nothing. He checked the battery, the memory card, everything seemed fine. Frustrated, he started fiddling with the buttons more aggressively. In his haste and anger, the camera slipped from his grasp. It fell, hitting the corner of his wooden table with a sickening crack before clattering to the floor. Mark swore under his breath. He picked it up and saw a spiderweb of cracks across the expensive lens. The body was dented, was broken, worthless. He couldn't sell it now for a fraction of its value. In a fit of rage, he threw the useless piece of junk into a dumpster in the alley behind his building, muttering about his terrible luck. A few days later, a homeless man named Sam was rummaging through that same dumpster, looking for cans or anything of value. His fingers brushed against something hard and metallic. He pulled it out. It was a camera. A very expensive-looking camera, even with the cracked lens and dented body. He felt a pang of sadness for whoever lost it. He noticed a small red light blinking faintly near the microphone jack. Curious, he pressed a button. A voice emanated from the tiny speaker. It was faint, but it was there. He heard a man muttering, "Worthless piece of junk. My terrible luck." Sam's eyes widened. He rewound the recording. He heard the clatter of the camera falling, but before that, he heard something else. The thief, Mark, had been talking to a friend on the phone right after the theft, bragging about how he'd snatched the camera from a clueless kid outside the tech store. He described Alex, the location, everything. The camera's video function may have been broken, but its audio had been recording the entire time. Sam knew he had to do the right thing. He remembered seeing a flyer for a missing camera posted by the tech store. He took the camera there. George, the clerk, recognized the serial number immediately. They called Alex, who rushed over, his hopes cautiously rising. George and Alex listened to the audio recording. There it was, irrefutable proof. The thief's own voice, confessing to his crime. They immediately took the evidence to the police. With the clear confession and Mark's detailed description of the event, it didn't take long for the authorities to identify and locate him. When they confronted Mark, he was stunned. How could they know? He had been so careful. He never imagined that the broken camera he tossed away would be his. And justice was served. Mark had to face the consequences of his actions, not just for the theft, but for the arrogance of believing he could get away with it. Alex, though his camera was broken beyond repair, felt a profound sense of relief. The insurance covered most of the cost, and more importantly, the truth had been revealed. The incident taught him a valuable lesson. Sometimes, when one door closes, another one opens. The lens was shattered, the visual path to the truth was destroyed. But the truth is a persistent thing. It doesn't need a single path. When one way is blocked, it simply finds another. It might be a whisper on an audio file, a forgotten detail, or an unexpected act of kindness from a stranger. The truth always finds a way to be heard. This story is a powerful reminder that even when things seem broken and hopeless, the truth has a resilience of its own, and it will always surface, one way or another. Thank you for watching. We share real stories that teach real lessons about integrity and the surprising ways truth comes to light. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to Moral Compass 01 for more content that makes you think. Until next time, remember to always listen closely, because the truth might be speaking in a way you least expect.